Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Jake, the Muslim Metaphysician. Today we have an interesting discussion for you today. So as you guys can see, and I'll just wait for a couple people to get into the chat. This is a last-minute live stream that was prompted by some recent events that you may or may not be aware of. So I'm going to give a little background information into this discussion. And then, hopefully the video won't be too long. And then I will be going into a bit more detail as what has occurred over the past couple days. And this feels a bit weird because I haven't done a live stream in quite a while, actually. People are saying salam. So, okay, everybody, you can hear me in the chat just fine and see me. That's good. Alhamdulillah. All right. So the title of the video is called The Curious Case of Cameron Bertuzzi. So for those of you who don't know, Cameron Bertuzzi is a Christian. I don't know what he would call himself, if he would call himself an apologist or not. I don't follow his stuff closely enough to know if he would give himself the name. But anyway, he has his own YouTube channel, which is called Capturing Christianity. And for the most part, he plays the role of an interviewer. He brings on experts in respective fields from mainly Christianity and atheists. And he focuses on, hosting debates, discussions, interviews, etc. So that's his main role, to be charitable to him. That's what that's what his role is on this channel. So anyway, his channel has gained some popularity because of that, and he's had on a lot of popular, well-respected guests. So we have to be honest about that. And so anyway, how I got in touch with him was that through this Ali Dawah saga. Shout out to Ali Dawah. He's a friend of mine. So he recently had a discussion. I mean, it wasn't a debate. It wasn't even a discussion. It was really, very chaotic discussion, if you want to call it that, with Mr. Irrelevant. Everybody who knows, Mr. Irrelevant. And so they had a discussion, and obviously it was chaotic, and a lot of people on all sides didn't really like it. Okay, some Muslims didn't like it. Many different people were weighing in on it. Okay, and I'm not going to go into too much detail of it because it's really not necessary to get the background information of what I'm trying to build up to. So I watched it, and so many different people were weighing in on it, including our friend here, Mr. Cameron Bertuzzi. He weighed in on it. And he started to, in my opinion, and I'll let you guys be the judge of it, he started to mock Ali Dawah. And matter of fact, let me bring up an example of this, so you can guys see what I'm trying to say here, inshallah. All right, so this is a tweet from Cameron, which you can see on the screen, hopefully, where he says, he quotes Ali Dawah, one of Ali Dawah's tweets, I believe, and he says, Ali Dawah needed a lesson on the contingency argument. Does he need a new lesson on the doctrine of the incarnation? So he made a couple videos, one, in my opinion, mocking Ali Dawah, trying to talk down to him. Oh, he doesn't know and understand the contingency argument, so we need Cameron to come in and teach him. And he's saying, okay, this is a free lesson, Ali, so just take it as a free lesson. He's talking down to him. He's mocking him in his, way of trying to be polite, but in reality, we know what's going on. And then he made a second video in which he did a similar thing on the incarnation, mocking Ali Dawah, basically saying that he didn't know what he was talking about, and, he needs a lesson, and don't worry, I'm here to give you a free lesson, and all this kind of stuff. So this is some of what I'm referring to. Okay, so he made those couple videos on his channel. And then I guess I'm trying to get the timeline straight. Maybe it was the day after. I don't know. But anyway, a couple days ago, what was that, on Friday now? I think it was on Friday. I went on Ali Dawah's channel and we did a mini review, wasn't that long, on the contingency argument in the discussion with Mr. Irrelevant and Ali Dawah. We went briefly through the contingency argument and brought up some points, the strengths of what Ali Dawah did. For example, when I spoke to Mr. Irrelevant, he wouldn't even engage with the argument, which he wound up actually apologizing later for it later in personal message. And then not only that, in the discussion with Ali Dawah, he engages with the argument and says, well, by the way, yeah, the pen is contingent. And then they go through the argument a little bit. And surprisingly enough, Mr. Irrelevant actually admits to a necessary being in the discussion. So we can't throw that by the wayside. Stage one of the argument was completed. Whether or not you think his delivery was sloppy of Ali Dawah, whether or not you thought his behavior was terrible, doesn't matter, in the sense that, of course, those things need to be addressed. The presentation of the argument could have been clearer. I tried to give some tips and pointers on that. And also, well, we're not going to get into the behavior issue. I mean, he's already been spoken to by people that are much closer to him than I am. I've also made some comments to him. But, anyway, it is what it is. This is what happened. This video is not really meant to go into detail on that discussion. So anyway, back to the point. Mr. Irrelevant committed to a necessary being, which is stage one of the cosmological contingency argument. But then they didn't get to stage two. They did a little bit, but Ali Dawah obviously didn't get him to admit that God exists or that the necessary being is God. So I went on the show to highlight that. I went on Ali Dawah's channel to give some input on the contingency argument, maybe some other things to add to it, to explain it more in depth. And then after that, we addressed Mr. Cameron Bertuzzi. And the reason we addressed him is because he was making videos about Ali Dawah and tweeting at him, as we saw, and all this kind of stuff. And then since then, there have been a lot of Muslims, Christians, all different groups engaging in this sort of back and forth discussion. And many people were actually tagging after, well, let me back up a second. So when I went into that part of the discussion on Ali Dawah's channel, I brought up what the issue was. And I said, long story short, because I don't want this video to become too long when it doesn't have to be. I basically said, hey, look, you're basically criticizing Ali Dawah that he doesn't know Christian theology and he needs to have a lesson, so on and so on. So, you know what? I think that I know Christian theology, at least the basics of it. I hope even my enemies could say that, but if they don't think so, that's fine as well. I've engaged with top-level Christian philosophers and theologians, some of which have actually been on this program, especially as recent. Dr. Joshua Sijiwade, which I've debated twice. And also recently I had a discussion with him in person in Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park when I was over in the UK. And I consider him to be a friend of mine. I mean, I debated him twice. I had that discussion with him in Speaker's Corner. We disagree on most points in theology. Well, I shouldn't say most points, but a lot of points anyway. And we have key fundamental differences, but I respect the guy. He's very respectful, always been nice with me. We disagree, but I consider him a friend. We message back and forth. And even after debating him, I had him on my channel twice on my channel, which I don't see many Christians doing this with Muslims in the apologetic scene. And what we'll see from Cameron is he doesn't seem to fit under that banner as well. It doesn't seem like he really wants Muslims on his channel. And I think that's going to be clear, and especially me. He definitely doesn't want me on his channel, which became clear in the end. So, yeah, so back to Josh, I've had him on a couple times, and after our debates, and it wasn't even me criticizing his view or discussion or debate between him and I. No, it was nothing like that. I actually gave a full-blown interview for him to express his views clearly, at the dismay of even many Muslims saying, what are you doing bringing this Christian guy on? Or even with some of my other interviews. A lot of them is me reading their works diligently, being very, very meticulous, preparing interview questions, sending to them, making sure they're okay with them, and then going through the material with them. And I don't even go into much of the criticisms. You see, I did the same thing with Dr. Branson, who, so I did the same thing with Dr. Branson as well. And I've had a discussion with him before. And I also consider him to be a friend. I'm quite friendly with him. So anyway, my point of saying this is, yes, I go into critiques on Christianity on my channel. Yes, I go into critiques against atheism on Thought Adventure podcast. This is, something I do. But my style, and I'm going to make this clear, has always been, if somebody is respectful with me and they can be nice and cordial, I'm more than happy to have a nice conversation with them. If somebody is dishonest, not genuine, insincere, disrespectful, all these kind of things, most of the time I'm going to ignore them and just get away, and I'm not going to have a discussion with them. But sometimes when they're popular and they're bullies and they're bullying other people, I will stand up to the bully. And if I have to, I will raise my voice. I will stand firm in my ground, and I will stand up to these bullies. And I've been doing this recently on Clubhouse. And so, yeah, anyway, back to the point. So let me say this. Let's sort of fast forward, because I set the scene of how the discussion started arising. So what happened was, Cameron saw this video. I'm assuming he did watch it, but I don't know if that's initially how he just came across it or somebody told him. I don't know. So he watched a video on Ali Dawah's channel. He saw me challenge him to a debate. So when I was on his channel, I said, listen, you're attacking Ali Dawah. Okay, fair enough. He's not an expert in Christian theology. He doesn't claim to be. I know a little bit more than he does, at the very least. Even if you want to say I don't know what I'm talking about, I know more than him. So I said, listen, if you want it, let's further engage with this dialogue between Muslims and Christians. Because say whatever you want, I don't hate Christians at all. In fact, a lot of my dawah is to them because I want them to come to the truth, but I don't hate them at all. And I love discussing with Christians, to be honest. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't enjoy it from the Muslim side, but I enjoy it. So I said, listen, Cameron, let's sit down, man to man, on your channel, and let's have a debate one-on-one, or discussion, or however you want to frame it. Let's sit down, because I think you have a misunderstanding not only of Islamic theology, but even your own theology with Christianity. And I have critiques against the Christian position, and let's see what your responses are to them. Let's have a structured debate, and let's take it from there. Now, somebody just sent a super chat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then we got somebody who became a new member. Besides that, guys, I'm not going to engage too much in the chat right now because I don't want to make the video too long. And also, I've got some stuff to get through here. So I said, and back to the point. So in the video with Ali Dawah, I said, listen, let's sit down on your channel. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Let's do it. And I said, and if you're not up for it, meaning if you don't think that you're actually, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, equipped to have the discussion, or you're not comfortable with it, fine, I'll debate or have a discussion with any one of your top scholars. Because listen, the guy has a lot of top Christian scholars come on his channel. He's got William Lane Craig. He's got Dr. Josh, who I've debated twice. He's got Dr. Timothy Paul, who we'll see he actually recommended that I have a discussion with him and then later backed out from that too. Joshua Rasmussen, many different people, okay? But Rasmussen is not really his area. He's more focused on, metaphysics and not really as much with the Trinity, incarnation, and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so I said that in the video, and he reached out to me on Twitter, and he DM'd me. He started out by saying, "Hey, Jake," and we'll go through some of the messages. And we'll go through some of the messages of exactly what he said and how the conversation progressed. So he reached out to me, and so many Muslims and Christians and maybe even atheists were tagging me and tagging him and saying, yeah, let's have a discussion or debate between the Muslim Metaphysician and Cameron, and everybody on both sides wanted, from what I could tell, to see it happen. So he messaged me on Twitter, and that's where the conversation started. And my intent, to be honest, was, listen, this guy is attacking Ali Dawah, saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. Fine. Okay, you want to take shots at him. You want to mock him. You want to, and I saw it kind of as bullyish, to be honest with you. But what about with somebody on the Muslim side on your channel that maybe can represent it better and actually make good objections and arguments against the classical Christian position? Are you willing to have that discussion? And turns out, no, he's not. And which, may be a shock or surprise to some. I mean, I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So anyway, I don't know. So I'm getting some weird questions in the chat. You guys just calm down and listen to what's going on. So anyway, he starts out by messaging me, and maybe we can go through some of those messages. Because honestly, at this point, let's see. All right. Okay, so let me share my screen here. I'm gonna because I'm gonna show you guys, because I don't want people to think that I'm making this up, that I'm just trying to badmouth the guy or anything. I'm not. I'm giving you straight from the guy himself. So look at the top, you can see Capturing Christianity. This is his profile. Saturday, he messaged me. So the next day, okay, I was correct, because I had the stream with Ali Dawah on Friday evening, Friday night. He messages me the next morning. He says, "Hey, Jake, I'm in the middle of a written debate with an atheist. But after that, several months from now, I'm open to doing a written debate on the incarnation. I think that could be fun." So his first message to me after seeing my challenge to him is, "Hey, Jake, let's have the debate, a written debate on the incarnation. I think that could be fun." Well, guess what, Cameron? I thought it could be fun too. I thought we could have had a nice debate or discussion. So I say, hey, Cameron, first, I prefer to do a live debate, because that way I can, and I'll list some of the reasons why in a second. But before I get to that, you'll see my response. I say, hey, Cameron, thanks for the response. Why a written debate? So I'm just wondering why he prefers that. I said, from my experience, is that it is quite too tedious, meaning it takes too much time to get into these written debates back and forth. Let's just bang it out in one go, 2 hours on a live stream, and that's the end of it. So why not a video debate or a video response debate similar to your debate with Rationality Rules? Now, I didn't know. I misunderstood or misinterpreted what he actually said when he meant written debate. He really meant the type of debate that he's having with Rationality Rules. He says, my debate with Stephen was written. That's the format I mean. Written then videoed. So what he's basically saying, and I don't know how many people have followed along with his stuff. I haven't watched most of those videos, but what he's been doing is he has agreed upon formatted structure with this atheist guy, Rationality Rules, on YouTube. And say, I'll just give you an example. Say the format is, okay, opening statement is 15 minutes. Cameron writes his 15-minute opening statement, writes it, and then records a video, releases that video, and then this guy, Rationality Rules, sees the video, he writes his 15-minute opening, whatever, and then puts out his video. Then you go to rebuttals, and it's back and forth, just like a written and then video exchange, and there's some time in between. So this is the format he was recommending first. Now, I, for various reasons, would prefer that it's not that way. Now, let me give some reasons why. First reason is, and I'll say this about Cameron specifically, is if I'm debating Christian theology with him, I want to debate it with Cameron Bertuzzi, because that's what the debate is supposed to be about. Now, I know he has contact with all these other Christian philosophers and theologians, and I'm not saying he would do it in a dishonest way or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, how do I know that I'm not debating Timothy Paul or William Lane Craig instead of Cameron Bertuzzi? In other words, they could just feed him a script, him read it, and then just go on the video and just read the script. Or even if it wasn't to that extent, he can write the script, pass it on to these other guys, these scholars, then tell them, okay, you need to correct this part, boom, boom, boom. So by the end of it anyway, it's like I'm basically debating one of them. I don't think that that's necessarily fair. I'm not saying that that was his intent and that's what he would have done, but it is a possibility. And therefore, that's one reason why I don't prefer it. Because if I'm going to debate one of the Christian scholars, I want to know who I'm debating. I don't want to think it's Cameron Bertuzzi. And then a second point is, when you're in a debate with somebody and there's no actual, everybody knows that with the live debates, the best part of the section, some people just skip forward to this part and don't even watch the rest, is the cross-examination. Why? Because in the cross-examination section, you can ask a person a direct question and see their response in real time and have a back and forth exchange for 15, 20 minutes or whatever it is. That's the best part of the debate, because the other part, you could purposely not respond to points. There's more room to wiggle out of critiques and all that kind of stuff. So that would also be lacking from a written, structured debate in the way that he wanted to. Okay. Third thing is, it's far too tedious. It's like going back and forth for several months. He's been doing it with this guy, and that's, if they want to do it, that's their business. But I did one written debate, and it took way too much time. It was time consuming and draining. And I think, look, if you prepare for the debate, you can have as many months as you want to prepare for the debate. You come on that one day, you have an hour to 2 hours or however long debate you wanted to do it, and you bang it out. People watch it and they make up their own mind. Me, I think that's the way to do it, because otherwise you're not really put on the hot seat as much, and you can't see the interaction as clear between the ideas. Okay. So that's my position. Those are the pros of it. Now, you know, of course, you can bring in cons of it where it's not as clear and concise, and written debates, you have time to think about it and respond, all of that. But if you're either prepared or you're not, let's be honest. Now, if you're coming on the chat now and you're saying, who is Cameron, then go watch the beginning of the video, because I'm not gonna explain it again, guys. Sorry to tell you, we're not gonna make this video like 3 hours long. Hopefully not, inshallah. So anyway, that was the first message. Now let me just share my screen so we can see further here what he starts to say. Okay. All right, let me just reshare my screen again. Here it is. Okay. So he says, written debates are my preferred style. Philosophy is best done slowly, in my opinion. Now, I can agree with that to a certain extent. When you're developing your philosophy, it's best done slowly. But if you think you've got answers already, then no, let's do it in real time. So Initially, he starts off by saying, okay, let's have the written debate. So I'm like, all right, I'm questioning it. But then he says, all right, well, look, this is my preferred style. I want to do it. Fair enough. The guy doesn't want, I can't force him to do a live discussion or a live debate. It is what it is. That's what he wants to do. It's not my preferred style for something like this, especially when, Cameron, you're coming on, you're doing videos critiquing Adi Dawa. So it seems like you should be able to do it on a live video. But anyway, I'll let people be to the judge of that. I wasn't going to pressure him into this live debate. So now he throws me a bone, basically. He says, look, I'll have the written and video debate with you, and then you, since you prefer that other style, I can likely set you up with Dr. Paul. He's referring to Dr. Timothy Paul, who is a Catholic philosopher and theologian, who is one of the experts today on the incarnation. He's written a very influential book, which is called In Defense of Conciliar Christology. Conciliar just refers to the council, so he's saying that his Christology, he's meant to defend that type of classical, Catholic style model of the incarnation, I should say. So anyway, I'm just explaining who Dr. Timothy Paul is. He's not a nobody. He's a well-respected scholar, and I would still like to have a discussion with him. I think he's a nice guy, and he's definitely a reputable scholar. So he says, well, look, I'll have the written debate with you, but if you want that live discussion, how about with Timothy Paul or someone similar for a live discussion if that's your preferred style? So I say, okay, I'm not going to force the guy to do a live debate. How could I? Right? So then I basically agreed to it. I agreed to both. I say, well, I'll have the discussion with you, meaning the debate, the written debate where you post the videos like you're doing with Rationality Rules. I'll do that. And I'm also willing to have it with Dr. Timothy Paul. But then, and I'm skipping over some parts because I don't want to make the video too long. I'm just giving the highlights of what has happened. So then there's a point in the discussion where he says, well, look, I need to think about this. So he starts backtracking and says, well, I need to think about this. And he says, I need to speak with my mentors about this. So there was another message where he says, I need to speak to my mentors about whether or not I should have this debate with you. So this is his response eventually. He says, yes, that sounds good. So after giving it more thought and speaking with my mentors, I'm deciding against a debate between us. So now he's at the point in the discussion where nothing that happened between us, like there was no disrespect, nothing like that, where he says, I'm deciding against a debate between us. Why? Because his mentors told him so, or they influenced him in such a way to not have the debate. And then listen to his reason why. The topics I'm suited to defend in a formal debate, we likely agree on, such as the argument from contingency and the problem of evil, meaning I think the argument from contingency is a good argument. The problem of evil is a bad argument, and we have similar responses maybe to those, even though not exactly the same. But he's saying, listen to his reasoning. After speaking with his mentors, he's deciding against a debate between us. Why? Because the only topics he's suited to defend in a formal debate are the ones we agree on. With that being said, what that means is he's admitting, and his mentors must have told him as such, that he's not suited to defend the Trinity or the incarnation in a debate, especially against me. This is what he's admitting here. Then he says, that said, I'm definitely open to having you on my show to talk with a subject matter expert on the incarnation like Dr. Timothy Paul. In other words, I'm acting as if I'm Cameron now. So he's saying, I'm not a subject matter expert, and I'm not suited, this is his own words, I'm not suited to defend the incarnation or the Trinity in a formal debate with you, the Muslim metaphysician, but I do know a subject matter expert like Dr. Timothy Paul who would be. And then he says, I sent a message to Dr. Paul. He's considering it. I'm also considering reaching out to Dr. Craig, though the chances of him accepting are much lower, which he didn't get into the details of why, but I'm assuming why, because Dr. Craig has this deal where he only wants to discuss or debate PhDs. I don't have a PhD. Therefore, I mean, this is what I'm assuming. I don't really know. So anyway, this is as clear as day why he doesn't want to debate me. Okay? It's as clear as day. There's nothing for me to add on in to his message. I'm just reading you what his message said. After he went back to his mentors, these Christian scholars who are experts in their field on things like Christian theology, Trinity, incarnation, atonement, etc., they said, hold on a second, brother. You're probably not suited or ready to defend these positions in a live debate. And he turned around and humbled himself and he said, you know what? You guys are probably right. I'm not ready to have a discussion with Jake, the Muslim metaphysician. This is his own, this is basically what he's saying. Not me. I didn't put these words on his mouth. He said the positions he's suited to defend, which means he's not suited to defend the incarnation and Trinity. Then why are you going online mocking Ali Dawah, saying that you're going to give him free lessons and all this? Yeah, this is what I consider bully tactics. You want to bully other Muslims and talk down to them, but when a Muslim who actually is equipped to discuss it, you back down from him. And originally you were saying, oh, well, at least I'm going to do the video. I'm going to do the written debate. But then you retracted and back down from that. After your mentors told you, look, Cam, you need to slow down, brother. You're not ready for this. And you thought to yourself, yeah, you know what? I'm not ready for this either. I'm not ready for it. You admitted it. You humbled yourself. So I got to give you that. You're humble. You're honest. So anyway, we got D&D, a new member here. So this is clear, man. I don't need to, there's nothing I need to make up. So then at that point, I said to him, what am I going to do? I'm not going to pressure the guy into a discussion. He then backs out of the debate with me because his mentors told him not to debate me. But then at that point, he still says, okay, well, I'll still definitely, if you want to actually read it, what he said, that said, I'm definitely open to having you on my show to talk with a subject matter expert on the incarnation, like Dr. Timothy Paul. And he also throws out Dr. William Lane Craig's name as well. So notice the moves in the discussion. Started off with Ali Dawah and Mr. Irrelevant, Apostate Prophet. He comments on that, tries to make fun of Ali Dawah, give him free lessons on the contingency and the incarnation. Then Jake goes on to Ali Dawah's program and responds and says, listen, if you want to discuss with a Muslim on Christian theology, I'm ready for you. Let's do it. What do you say? He messaged me, and the first message to me was him saying that he would have the debate, a written debate that would be video formatted, that it would be scripted and you would read it, and we already went through what the debate would be like. I initially challenged that. I say, well, I prefer the live debate. He pushes back again, says, no, I'm not going to do the live debate, but I'll do the written debate. I say, okay, khalas. I'll have the written debate. It is what it is. Let's do it. Then he says, well, also, if you want to have the live debate, I'll get you a subject matter expert that can have the live discussion with you. Okay, great. So then time goes on. He says, all right, let me get back to you. He says, I need to speak to my mentors about this debate with you. He speaks to his mentors, comes back and says, no, I can't actually have the debate with you. Why? His mentors must have influenced him against having a debate, and he humbled himself. And listen, he was honest at this point, said he's not ready for it. He can't defend the incarnation. Well, subhanAllah, you are a Christian apologetic man or Christian apologetic channel. And again, I know you're just mainly the interviewer, but you attacking Ali Dawah, and then when you're challenged, you can't defend your actual position. You say that you're not ready for that, right? What was your actual words? I'm sorry, I don't want to misrepresent you here, brother. You said you're not suited to defend it. I'm not suited to defend it, meaning you're not suited to defend the incarnation or the Trinity in a live debate, and you're not even suited to defend the Trinity or the incarnation in a scripted debate, which you can get from your Christian scholars if you wanted to. And also, you're not suited to even do that. But yet you're talking all this stuff, man. Why would you do that? So Allahu Alam, God knows best, as a translation for you. I think it's because you knew, okay, no disrespect to Ali Dawah. He's a friend of mine. No disrespect to him. He'll tell you the same thing. He's not an expert in Christian theology. We all know this, okay? Everybody has their areas. That's not his area. Now, I think you said, all right, this guy's an easy target. Let me pick on him. And he's got a lot of followers. So it helps, it's not like you're just picking on nobody. But then when the curtain was removed and he saw the Muslim metaphysician, he's like, oh man, he's there, but I got to respond to him, but I don't really want to. So he responds to me, agrees to a type of debate, but won't have the actual live debate. All right, you seems like you don't want to do it. Fine. But then he even backs out from that because his own Christian scholar said, no, brother, you're not ready for this. And he even said, I'm not suited to defend it. So you're not suited to defend your fundamental doctrines of your faith. You're not suited to defend them. You're not equipped for it. This is your own wording, not mine. Now, he said in the video with Ali Dawah, and he might even say here that I'm combative and I'm coming off combative and hostile. Let me just explain something to you. I don't know where this guy is from in the US, but I'm from New Jersey. So this is the way I talk. I talk fast. I may talk with a little bit of what you would construe as an attitude. Fine. So be it. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I think that I was actually pretty calm and cool and collected. And considering all this stuff that this guy has done in this conversation in the past 38 minutes or so, I've been relatively calm. You see, I could go crazy if I wanted, but I'm not. I mean, there's no point in that because listen, I'm putting the facts forward of the story. It's clear. I don't need to even really get too worked up about it. People can listen to what I say, judge for themselves, to say, oh, no, Jake, you're wrong. Or, well, yeah, brother, that makes a lot of sense. Or whatever. People are going to have their opinions. They can say whatever they want. Somebody sent a $5 super. If you need a PhD to defend the Trinity, it speaks a lot about your religion. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's not like an argument, but all right. I think that's Brother Anwar. I think it is Brother Anwar from Clubhouse. Salam, he just sent a super sticker just showing love, so appreciate that, brother. I think that's him. I'm not sure. Somebody said it's more okay. Somebody sent 100. It's more simple. The incarnation itself is not suited for the debate against Tawheed. Fair enough. Is what it is. So anyway, let's get back to it. So let's finish. So then at that point, remind you guys, at that point, he backed out of the debate, but he said, look, I still want to have the discussion with you and Dr. Paul or somebody of that, that it is an expert on the topic. So I said, okay, what am I going to do? I can't force him. I said, I respectfully said, all right, if you're not comfortable, you don't think you're up for it, fine. Don't do it. But let's still have the discussion with Dr. Timothy Paul, who is a legitimate expert, and I wouldn't disrespect him by any means. Then what he does is he sends me some clip of something he heard from me where I was calling some guy dishonest, and I raised my voice in a YouTube video. And he basically starts like questioning my character of some sort and saying, well, I don't know if, and I'm giving you a short story, but he's basically saying, I don't know if I want to have you on the show now. So I said, listen, what do you mean you don't want to have me on the show? All I did was say that the guy was dishonest in a loud voice. I didn't cuss him out or anything like that. I didn't do anything nasty or vile to the guy. I just said that he was dishonest and in a loud voice, which is, I mean, I've said that before to other people, so it wasn't the first or only one. And so he starts playing this like morality or moral game where, oh, I don't even know now if I want to have you on my show with Dr. Paul because of this. And in reality, I don't think that's the case. I think he didn't really want me on because he doesn't want a Muslim on who actually knows their stuff to defend the Muslim position and attack the Christian position on his show. He doesn't want that. Because as far as I know, he's only ever had one Muslim on his channel, which is Dr. Shabir Ali, who doesn't, I mean, no disrespect to him, but he's coming from a scriptural angle. He's not coming from an angle of theology and metaphysics and deep philosophical stuff. That's not his area. I'm not disrespecting him, and I've been in contact with him before. So, you know, whatever. That it is what it is. He's only had him on, and listen, this isn't new. This situation with Ani Dawa, this isn't the first time. Muslims have been messaging this guy directly, tagging him on posts on Facebook, messaging him on Twitter, sending him, mentioning him on Twitter, tagging him, all this stuff. Bring on Jake the Muslim Metaphysician, because he's talked about Islam before. He tries to criticize and critique Islam. And I'm going to get into this in a second to show you. I'm going to point out what I think this man is inconsistent. I think he's really inconsistent. And I'll let you guys be the judge of it. I don't even need to get worked up over it because it's so obvious. It's so obvious that he's inconsistent with his own methodology and supposed principles and morality and whatever. I'm going to show you that in a second. So anyway, let me show you the final message. So this was his final message to me. Okay. All right. So this is his final message to me. Thanks. I think it's best we part ways. And then I responded and said, so you're not actually going to respond to my message? Because I sent him a long message before that where I was basically pointing out his hypocrisy. Yeah, I said it, his hypocrisy. I'll take it a step further than inconsistent. His utter hypocrisy. Oh, you don't want to have the Muslim Metaphysician on your channel because he called some guy dishonest in a loud voice on YouTube. Are you kidding me? What I'm going to show you how hypocritical this is and how inconsistent this is of you, Cameron, of the people that you've had not only on your show, but that you've defended vehemently on your show. Now, let's see a clear-cut case example. So we saw, again, I'll give a recap at the end because I don't want to keep recapping it too much, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why this man here is inconsistent, right? Okay, let's see this. Do you guys know who this guy had on his YouTube channel? Yep, you guessed it right. The one and only David Wood. He not only had David Wood on his channel, I think less than 2 years ago. David Wood, he had on his channel less than 2 years ago, and had him not only had him on his channel about some random stuff, had him on there specifically to question him about his apologetic style towards Muslims, and completely justified it and agreed with it, even eating the Qur'an, all this different stuff. He fully supports it. Now watch, you think I'm lying now. You think I'm lying. I'm going to show you. Matter of fact, let me show you on YouTube his video. What is it? Capturing Christianity, David Wood. Let me show you this video he did. Okay, and I'm not going to play the video. You guys can watch it on. It's got a lot of views, one of the most views on his channel. Okay, so look at this. Let me share my screen and show you guys what it is. Okay, here. There you go. So this is his channel. You'll see here. It went on May 4th, 2020. So less than 2 years ago. Almost 2 years. It says, the title of the video is, Do His Methods Cross the Line? You Might Change Your Mind. So his whole thing in the video is to question David Wood about it and to change your mind, he says, might be changed. Meaning that he actually, and we'll see, he fully supports David Wood's methods. He says, in this video, I sit down with Dr. David Wood to discuss Muslim apologetics and whether his methods are too controversial. After watching, you might change your mind. Well, I watched it and I didn't change my mind. And not only that, I'm not only going to touch on David Wood's behavior, because we already know the type of cat this guy is, this type of guy this guy is. Not only that, he completely strawmanned Islamic theology, Muslim theology, and yet you were attacking Ali Dawah for strawmanning and misrepresenting Christianity and also even the contingency argument. And you all the time want to say, oh, well, yeah, you guys shouldn't be misrepresenting us. But yet you're getting your information on Islam from guys like David Wood. And I don't even need to name other people, but I'm sure you're going to other people. Probably James White in his book, which I already completely debunked, showed you on the first page. He has a mistake, a bold-faced lie, I might actually say. And he repeats it 5 times in the book with no citation, no reference, nothing whatsoever. I questioned him about it, and he never answered either. So this is where you're getting your information from. So in this video, in this 50-minute video, you've got misrepresentation of what Muslims believe, and you won't bring Muslims on to actually not only forget about attacking Christianity, you won't bring Muslims on to defend their positions. You won't do it. You won't. You won't bring me on. You won't bring anybody on to do it. You had one Muslim on to have a debate on, I think it was whatever, crucifixion. I forget exactly what the topic was. That's it. So in this video, he's completely defending David Wood's apologetics. That's the whole point of the video. Now watch what I'm going to show you. If you think I'm lying, you're going to see it. If you think, because now I'm going to show you the aftermath of that video, he was still going around supporting this guy. We got another new member. Salam, appreciate that. All right, so now here's the other thing, guys. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I'm going to show you a couple more interesting things about. So remember, the video is the curious case of Cameron Bertuzzi. It's really a curious case because the guy is thinking he's on a high and mighty horse, you know, but guess what? I'm exposing the fact that you're inconsistent and you're a hypocrite, to be quite frank. Yeah, I said it. You are a hypocrite. And I'm saying it very calmly. You see, I'm saying it very calmly, but you are a hypocrite, my friend. And I know that you're going to be watching this. And I know that the viewers, the common viewers, are going to think 2 things. Cameron's a hypocrite and he's inconsistent. And not only that, he himself doesn't want to debate the Muslim Metaphysician, doesn't want him on his channel, doesn't want Muslims on his channel. He only wants to have atheists and Christians on. And he doesn't, listen, I'll tell you straight up, this guy is completely against Islam and Muslims. He can't stand us. That's why he don't want anybody even near his program. Now watch this. Look at this, my Muslim brothers and sisters. This is from Cameron Bertuzzi. Cameron Bertuzzi in August 2020. So about a year and a half ago, whatever. Notice that the other video was in May of 2020. So this is a couple months after his discussion with David Wood. He says David Wood be like, choose one, and it's a pill. Be rich, read minds, invisibility, or eat the Qur'an. And which one does he pick? Eat the Qur'an. And look, people laughing, mocking, laughing at it. This is what this guy did. Because remember that David Wood ate the Qur'an live, I believe, on YouTube. He's supporting this, mocking it. And you want to talk about that, what, you're mature and you're on some type of high ground? Why? Because I call some guy dishonest and you don't even know the backstory. You don't know what he said about some of my friends, the guy that I called dishonest. You don't know the story. You don't even know anything about it. You took a little 2-minute clip and you used that as an excuse to try to not have me on your channel. But now the truth is being revealed. So don't talk about my behavior. Deal with the stuff on your own program and your own people. You got David the Hammer Time Wood on your channel, a guy who nearly beat his father to death with a hammer, who's a self-proclaimed psychopath, who eats the Qur'an, mocks Muslims, mocks Islam, is a vile, nasty human being, and you're legitimizing it on your own channel. And you think you have some right to tell me how to act and what to do? And again, I'm not perfect. When I made mistakes and I said things or I did things where I looked back on them and said, oh, Jay, you were out of hand on that one. What did I do? People know me. I came out and I made apologies. I apologize to certain people or even some things that I did on my own. I have no problem with that. I'm not perfect. But don't sit here and tell me, oh, because I called some guy dishonest and I was raising my voice or whatever, you didn't like the way I was coming across. And you're supporting David Wood, a guy who's saying eat the Qur'an, and you're laughing at it like you enjoy it. Really? Come on, bro. Let's be serious. You're not fooling anybody. Any honest Christian even watching this should say, Jake, you got a point, man. That's not consistent. That's hypocritical. He really didn't want to debate you. He knew he couldn't defend his position. He didn't even want you to come on with a Christian scholar because he has nothing to gain and he's got a lot to lose. Because if I go on there and I run ropes around a Christian scholar, it ain't going to look good. That's why you don't want people like me on there. You don't want that discussion. Now, me, I'm not there to just make you or your program or this Timothy Paul to look bad. In fact, I respect Timothy Paul. I disagree with him, but he seems like a nice guy and he's a very reputable scholar. I would like to have a conversation with him. And I'm not here to just bash Christians or atheists. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for at all. In fact, I'm trying to bridge a gap with Christians. I invite Christian scholars on my program to explain their own views and don't even critique them sometimes. What other Muslim is doing that? I don't know what you're looking for, to be honest. But I'm calling out the hypocrisy. Now let's move on. So we got a reply to that post, and you'll see here is Jamie Turner, who is actually a friend of mine, although I had to dust up with him too, but it was all in love, who's a Muslim. He said, pretty disgraceful, to be honest with you, mate. And look at Cameron Bertuzzi's response. I honestly don't know what this is intended to communicate. Oh, so you don't know why that would be disgraceful or offensive to a Muslim by you posting that and mocking us with David Wood eating the Qur'an and laughing about it and stuff. You just either you're just in your own world, bro, and you're really forget about equipped for a debate on the Trinity or incarnation. If you honestly don't know why somebody, Jamie Turner, who's a very nice guy, would say this is pretty disgraceful and 10 people liking it, but then again, you got 13 people liking this stupid comment, then I don't know what to tell you, man. You're as blind as a bat. Or really you have no social skills. I don't know what it is. Because if you don't know why somebody would be offended by you posting that, then can't really help you, bro. Can't really help you. Now, listen to what this guy Cameron also says about David Wood. This is less than 2 years ago. By the way, there was no experience of shame during that interview, meaning Cameron Bertuzzi was not feeling ashamed by anything that David Wood said or did. I don't share your disdain for Wood, meaning I don't share it. I like the guy. And in fact, neither does Andy. He ended up endorsing Wood toward the end of the video. So this is in a conversation with my friend Abdurrahman on Facebook, where he was saying, look, this guy Andy, who's another Christian scholar that came on the program, Abdurrahman was saying, listen, we disagree with him, but he's a nice guy. He had a nice approach. He was calm, cool, collected, no disrespect, nothing. He's saying that's how it should be instead of Mr. David Wood. And then he responds by this saying, oh, there was no shame in that. No shame in David Wood's game. In fact, I support him. I'm fully behind him. Eat the Qur'an. You know what, Cameron? I can't believe that you would even say such a thing, to be honest. It's quite shocking. It is. And Muslims, any Muslim watching this, make sure you go over to Capturing Christianity and hit that unsubscribe button. Hit that unsubscribe button immediately. Shouldn't even be watching this guy's stuff, to be honest with you. How disrespectful he is and his mockery. And now listen, what he goes on further to support it, because Abdurrahman replies and says, what are you talking about, man? He says, look, let's take a step back from religion and talk about ethics. Do you think that mockery can ever be morally justified? So he's trying to justify David Wood's mockery. I just gave one example about eating the Qur'an. We can go into the whole Islamicized series and all the other nasty stuff he said and done, the vile human being that he is. That's what we could go into it, but most of the viewers already know. I don't even really need to tell you guys. You guys know. So that's one example of inconsistency and hypocrisy on the part of Cameron Bertuzzi. Let's go to another one. This is from a channel called Cross Examined, which is run by a Christian apologist by the name of Frank Turek. He made this video called Is Islam False? Over a year ago. Watch this. 5 minutes. Now look at this. Is this supposed to be the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran? Completely look at that, making a caricature of Muslims and the Prophet, peace be upon him. Disgusting. This is what these guys do. They want to mock Muslims. We're backwards, we're barbarians. They want to make us try to look silly. Look at his eyes and how he's looking. I mean, come on. This is the point. And guess what? He had this guy Frank Turek on his channel, who's clearly, I mean, look, I don't even really need to press it further. It's clear, right? But then, you know what? I'm gonna now make another point. So this is two guests he's had on: Frank Turek, David Wood, and also he had on another guy by the name of T-Jump, who is an atheist, wannabe philosopher who actually just got destroyed today by Dr. Joshua Sijuwade. Man, if you want to have a good time watching the difference between a professional philosopher and a wannabe, and I'm not a professional. Don't get it twisted. But I would run circles around T-Jump. I'll tell you that much. And man, he got shellacked by Joshua Sijuwade. It was like a teacher-student session. Subhanallah, really, it was bad. But anyway, so that's an inconsistency. He's got David Wood, Frank Turek on his channel. Oh, and T-Jump. T-Jump, listen, in terms of, he doesn't have that much popularity. In terms of his actual knowledge on the subjects he discusses, he doesn't know his head from his foot, to be honest. And lastly, he's very rude and disrespectful. Just go and watch his discussion with Jay Dyer. It was like a match of them cussing each other down and yelling at each other and throwing out all type. You're stupid. You're an idiot. You're low IQ. It was like bad, really bad. And then actually, the only time Jay Dyer and T Jump actually agreed was at the very end, where there was a question and answer section, and a guy actually called in. I kid you not. Go and check this out. A guy actually called in, and I believe he was handicapped. I don't know, physically or mentally or combination, but he was handicapped. And he wasn't speaking properly, and he wasn't coming across clearly. Jay Dyer and T Jump mocked this guy who was handicapped live on the show. Mocked him, and they were both laughing together at the guy. It was utterly disgusting. It was completely disgusting. And he had this guy T Jump on the show. This guy T Jump, and it's not the first time. Go and watch some of his debates where he's cussing people down. Now, I'm not trying to make this about him, really, where I'm attacking him. Listen, he can do whatever he wants. He came on tap, and we made him look silly, by the way, as well. But anyway, he also had another important person on his channel. Apostate Prophet, Mr. Irrelevant, he had on his channel. More than once, I believe. And he actually had him on for a debate on the existence of God. Are you kidding me? Low-level Apostate Prophet to debate the existence of God? Come on, Cameron. You know he's not caliber. You can say what he wants, but this guy he don't know the basics of the philosophical discussion. He couldn't even tell me if my pen was necessary contingent. He wouldn't even engage with the argument. Come on. Say what you want about him. He might be cool with you, whatever. He doesn't know the basics. He's low-level. Yet you had a Mr. Irrelevant on, Apostate Prophet, who actually mocked dead Muslims. He mocked Muslims who died. This is the guy who you have on your channel? A guy who mocks dead Muslims? Who had nothing bad to do with anything. He mocks dead Muslims. He attacks Muslims all the time. Says nasty, vile stuff. Cuss people down. Even in the discussion with Ali Dawah, he got vulgar towards the end and started cursing at Ali Dawah and kicked him out of the stream. David Hammertime Wood eating the Qur'an and you loving it and posting about it and laughing. T-Jump, who's cussing down people. These are the people you have on your show, and you want to compare me? I mean, I'm no angel. Don't get it twisted. But you want to compare me with these guys? Are you serious? What are you talking about? Let's be serious, man. You need to be honest with yourself, brother. This is totally hypocritical and uncalled for. And this other guy, Frank Turek, whatever he's doing. Now, I want to show you guys something else. Let me show you something. 1 second. Because now I'm going to point out the hypocrisy in the way that Cameron Bertuzzi approached me versus how he approached another Christian who was totally yeah. So this is another point. He was completely mocking Ali Dawah, which I already mentioned several times. And he was upset with me that I didn't call out Ali Dawah live on his program for some of his behavior, even though I have spoken to him. Listen, he's been spoken to by many people. He even during the video said and admitted that he did some things wrong and he was over the top and he did this and that. And at the same time, you are now saying that you're not actually against mockery, because in that comment, you said, oh, mockery's okay. What's your problem with mockery? Let's eat the Qur'an. Let's mock Islam. Let's do this. Let's make fun of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Let's do all this. That's what you're saying. But in actual fact, you are against mockery. You are. Why? Because it made you not want to have me on your show, apparently, when I wasn't even really mocking the guy that bad. Let's be honest, it wasn't even serious. So you're a hypocrite. You just didn't want me on your show. Let's be frank. And you weren't ready for the debate because you're not. You're not equipped. In your own words, you're not equipped. You can't defend your position. You can't defend the key tenets of your faith. That's why you're a facilitator on your program. You interview people. Fair enough. You interview experts, but you're not. You don't know the basics. Now, let me show you another point of hypocrisy with this guy. Let's show a point of hypocrisy with this guy. Okay, I'm going to share you and I'm going to show you the difference between how this guy treated me versus how he treats Christians. Now look at this. This is right here where it says, this is Inspiring Philosophy, Michael Jones, who's a Christian apologist. He's got his own YouTube channel, Inspiring Philosophy. He was a couple years ago supposed to have a debate hosted by Cameron Bertuzzi with Jay Dyer, the infamous Jay Dyer, who I briefly mentioned before. Look what it says. My debate with Jay Dyer has been called off. Instead of me trying to tell you what happened, we agreed to post a conversation so all can see what happened this morning. Look at this. Let's review this. Hey, Jay. This is between Cameron and Jay. Hey, Jay, I had an issue I wanted to discuss with you. You had a debate with RC apologists last year, and it got quite heated, and a lot of insults were thrown out. I want to be reassured that we can be respectful with each other and not resort to whatever happened between you and him. Otherwise, I don't really see our debate as something that would be fruitful. Now, listen to what he said to Jay Dyer. He's posting a video where Jay Dyer was disrespectful and hurling insults at his debate opponent. You'll never see me do that in any of my formal debates. But this happened. And what did he say? He wanted to reconcile. He said, look, Jay, this is what you said or did. I don't like it. You can come on my show as long as you promise that that won't happen. He didn't say that to me. He sent me a little clip of me calling some guy dishonest and said, I don't want you on my show. He didn't say, oh, by the way, Jake, if this is, I didn't like this, but if it doesn't happen, you're free to come on. Of course, why would I'm not going to call Dr. Paul anything. I would have had a nice conversation with him. I already agreed to come on very respectfully. Look at my track record. I even sent him my interviews and debates playlists. Look at it. Look at my debates with Christian theologians and philosophers. I never got disrespectful. In fact, my last one with Chris Date was went very well. We both enjoyed it. And Chris Date, I believe, also has been on his channel. So several people I've debated, he's had on his YouTube channel. Look at that. So Jay, look at the difference of how he treats Jay Dyer Christian, trying to reconcile and, cozy up to him, saying, listen, Jay, I didn't like this, but I'll still bring you on. But Jake, you called some guy dishonest and you got loud with him, but I'm not going to let you come on. It goes further. It gets deeper than that. So look and listen how I was very nice, and Cameron cannot deny this in my messages. I was very apologetic with him. I said, listen, if I did something that you didn't like, I didn't mean it that way. Listen to the difference between how I responded and how Jay Dyer responds. There have been cases where I was heated. I can promise to attempt to be as cordial as possible. But if that's not good enough, then it is what it is. So he's basically saying, look, it is what it is. I don't care what you think. And then he says, if IP doesn't want to debate, how about you debate me, CC, on how you think I lost to Matt Dillahunty? So he turns around and he starts challenging him, mocking him, and laughing. I have countless debates online. Looks to me like you have found yourself in over your head. So you found a debate where I got mad and it's your excuse. Now, I don't like Jay, and he knows that, and he don't like me either. But actually, he's got a point, because that's the same thing he did to me. The same exact thing he did to Jay Dyer. He took a little clip where he thought that I got heated, and he used it as an excuse to not have me on his program after, mind you, he already backed out before he said anything about that. He already backed out because his mentors told him he wasn't ready. Then he said, Cameron said, there is no need for that. All I am asking is that we keep things polite. So look at how Jay Dyer is talking to him, and he's still trying to engage and bring him on for a debate. If I would have talked to him like that in the Twitter messages, he would have said, see you, Jake, a long time ago. But look, he's still trying to work with his Christian brother to bring him on his program. When he's mocking you, he was mocking you directly in the messages, and you still were willing to have him on. But you weren't willing to have me on after I said that I wasn't going to do nothing on your program. I never even said that I was going to do anything of that sort. Jay Dyer didn't promise anything. He said, I can promise to attempt to be cordial. He didn't promise to be cordial. I would have been cordial, no problem. So he says, there is no need for that. All I am asking is that we keep things polite. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. Can we agree to aim for that, or is this a sign that this is not possible? And then Jay says, hey, dude, I'm not on the defensive here. I haven't wronged you, and I'm not going to be tone policed by you. So he's, look, I'm not having it. I don't know what you want. I mean, Jay's like, what do you think, bro? You think you're gonna strong arm me, like you're gonna bully me? That's what Jay's like. I am who I am. I'm gonna come on your show and do what I want. And I wasn't doing that. Jay is disrespecting him. He's sunning him. He's like, listen, son, sit down. Then Cameron replies, I'm not saying that. All I asked above was that we aim to be disrespectful in our debate. I didn't say anything other than that. Can we agree on that? So he's still trying to get him to agree after Jay already disrespected him. He said, I'm also not going, Jay now responds, I'm also not going to be told beforehand how I can talk to you. I have countless debates online where the conduct was fine. It's also not wrong to call out people if they're acting ridiculous. No, I'm not agreeing to you policing how I reply to you. No one has done this yet, LOL, because now that means your buddy here will tone police me too. So then he says, so he's completely disrespecting him. And then he says, again, I'm asking if you can leave the unnecessary insults out of the conversation. Are you saying we cannot have the debate without them? You can come on my channel anytime and get demolished, and your buddy. No other debate forum has policed what I am allowed to say. This is Jay's. Look, he's telling him, look, I'll demolish you. And they're still trying to put a debate with him. You kidding me, bro? You're a complete hypocrite, Cameron Bertuzzi. The curious case of Cameron Bertuzzi. This is what you are. You're a hypocrite. And you're also ill-equipped to defend your own theology, which your own mentors told you. So then he says, wait, are you backing out of coming on Cameron's channel? Jay says, if you're going to police what I say, and if you publicly say I'm backing out of debating you, I'll post all this chat. This is super gay. This is what Jay is saying. This is super gay. And I'm not defending Jay necessarily, but I'm just showing you the inconsistency and hypocrisy of Cameron Bertuzzi. He's not a consistent person. He says, it's not my channel. This is now, I believe, what's his name talking? Michael Jones. All I asked is if we can be respectful with each other. Why is that hard to agree to? Now, again, Inspire Philosophy, it's the same thing. If I talk to him like this, he would never be continuing to message me trying to debate. If I said one word wrong like this, he would say, to hell with you. I'm not debating you. I will debate you anytime. And I'm not saying that Michael Jones is a hypocrite, because I haven't, he hasn't done that with me. So I haven't really had that experience. I'm saying that Cameron is. So Jay then says, I will debate you anytime, but you started changing the rules. And then he says, by asking you to be respectful and not insult. Yeah, and now I find out he's actually a fan of my work. He thinks I lost to Matt, LOL. If I say that's ridiculous, you'll say that's an insult and police me in the debate. IP says, that has nothing to do with anything, man. What is going on? All we are saying is, can we respect each other? Saying something is ridiculous would not be an insult. You called RC a retard in your debate with him. That is what I'm trying to avoid. Then Cameron says, I think Mike Winger lost to Matt as well. It's nothing personal, and I could be wrong. So he's like, even after Jay is mocking him, he's still like, all right, I'm going to take it. Jay says, LOL. Then IP says, dude, no one is trying to attack you. We are just trying to make sure this will be a respectful conversation. And then Jay says, do you even understand the transcendental argument? Dude, so what if I called you a retard in the debate? Wouldn't that make me look bad and you win? This makes you look fragile and weak. I've done many formal debates that wasn't formal. The thing is, insult is ambiguous, and the fact that your moderator thinks I lost shows his bias. So yes, it matters. And your theology is terrible, by the way, and you're evidential apologetic too. Cameron says, I am a theist. The fact that I think Matt won kind of shows the opposite. I wanted you to win. Then he says, you're an idiot. Too low IQ for tag. This is Jay is calling Cameron an idiot and saying he's low IQ. Then Michael Jones says, this is not the way to handle things. I was nice and cordial to you. You want to police the tone. Then Cameron says, that's an example of an insult in case it's not clear. Ha ha, yes it was. And it was intended as one. Why are you disrespecting the host? Then Cameron says, the debate is off. And then Jay says, because he's full of it. Matt was upset in the debate. He lost. Yep, waste of time. You can both come on my channel. And then IP says, this wasn't worth it, Jay. Okay, dude, you're the first couple to police what the tone is and what I say. You're not worth it, and your apologetics and debates suck. I'll take the link down when I can get to a computer. Good riddance. By the way, theistic evolution is heretical. Do you mind if I post a discussion? And then he says, do it. It's up to Jay. I won't do it without his permission. Uh-oh. You're going to expose me. Typical evangelical nonsense. People want to know what happened, Jay. Is that a yes or a no? I don't care what you do. You wanted to tone police me, and I'm saying I want to debate you. We agreed to a formal debate. You can't tell people what they can and can't say. That's why you look for fallacies. And then he says, if I insulted you, that's an ad hominem. Dude, I've done 20 years of debates publicly and formally. I agreed at the outset to be cordial with you. So even after all that, listen what Cameron says. So you still want to have the debate on my channel? So after all that, the dude just called you directly to your face, low IQ, an idiot, and many other things said directly to you, Cameron Bertuzzi, mocking you, and you are still willing to have him on your channel. When me, I didn't disrespect you directly in the least. You just heard a clip of me calling some guy dishonest in a loud tone. And you said, oh, I don't want you on my channel. You're a hypocrite. Everybody can see it now because you were kissing up to Jay Dyer to have him on your channel, but you wouldn't have me on. You are a hypocrite and inconsistent. And you didn't want me on because you knew it wouldn't go well. That's why you backed out of the debate. You're not only a hypocrite, but you're also, and I have to say this with all candor, you're also a coward. You're a coward because you can't defend your theology, and you're a coward because you bully and you try to bully other people who you think that you can have the upper hand on, but you won't discuss with people that you know you can't. And your own people told you that you're not ready. And then Jay said, Not with you as moderator. And Cameron said, all righty. Are you trained in philosophy, Cameron? He asked. Then we are posting this conversation so people will see what happened. He said, no, I'm a photographer. Right, LOL. Also, insults are, and then he goes on and on. You post whatever you want. I'm not backing down from debating you. That is clear. Blah, blah, blah. So that's it, folks. So this is quite clear to anybody that's been watching. If you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Jew, if you're Hindu, I don't care what way you go, what way you flow. If you're watching this, it should be clear. It should be clear what the hypocrisy is. The hypocrisy and cowardice should be clear by now. So let's do a recap of this conversation. I'll remind you all that Cameron Bertuzzi is a host of Capturing Christianity channel. Recently, in the aftermath of the Ali Dawah and Apostate Prophet discussion, Cameron criticized Muslims, including Ali Dawah and Islam. He's done it before, but he also made patronizing comments to Ali Dawah and even shared memes about him. After that, I was tagged in many tweets and Facebook posts asking Cameron to debate me and vice versa. So then Cameron reached out. He was initially open to a debate and wanted a written debate to start in a few months' time, meaning that he wanted that written debate. I explained to him that I preferred the live discussion, but he wanted it to be written so that he could think through his responses and maybe to get some help from his buddies. I don't know. I even agreed to this approach because I wanted an honest, respectful debate and discussion. Then Cameron tells me that he wants to actually back out of the debate because he's been advised by his mentors not to debate with me. Why? By his own words, because he is not suited to defend these fundamental doctrines of Christianity. But he wants to attack other Muslims when he thinks he has the upper hand. But when it came to me, he folded like a pretzel. Yeah, and that's something similar I said in the other video. That's what you did. Because you're a coward, quite frankly. You are a coward, my friend. I have to say it clearly. And again, I'm not saying this. I'm not disrespecting all Christians. I love Christians. I have a lot of respect for a lot of Christian scholars. There's no disrespect to Christians. This is about you personally, Cameron. You're a coward, and you know you're a coward. Now, furthermore, Cameron then, even after backing out of the debate like a coward, he said that he was willing to potentially host a debate or discussion between me and a Christian scholar who is equipped to discuss the incarnation, because he himself, by his own admission, isn't equipped to stand in the discussion with a Muslim like me. So, even then, when that happened, then Cameron attempts to raise concerns about a little clip. It was like 2 minutes or less long of me getting loud with somebody saying that they were dishonest. And then after I explained to him, look, you don't know what that discussion was about. You don't even know the context, and nothing like that is going to happen on your channel anyway. Then he backed out of even hosting me on his channel because of that. Now, what I'm showing you guys is that he's dishonest, inconsistent, a coward, and a hypocrite. Why? Because he had David Wood on his channel, who, what do you want to say? This guy, what is he, a choir boy? Altar boy, David Wood? Come on, get the hell out of here. Then you had Frank Turek on, posting his stuff, which I showed you that picture. You were defending him. You had T-Jump on, who gets into cursing and shouting matches with people. And you wanted to have Jay Dyer on, even after knowing that he did far worse than anything I could have imagined. And I don't care about Jay. Let him do what he wants. That's his business. And then in a post with you, in private message with you, he called you an idiot and low IQ directly to your face in a direct message. And even after all that, you still asked him to come on your channel. This shows you how much of a snowflake hypocrite you are. You're a phony. You're a fraud. You're a wannabe. That's what you are, man. And everybody can see right through it. Watch my debates with top-level Christian scholars. Never got disrespectful with them once. And I'm still friendly with them. Now, let's show the real reason. And yeah, Jay Dyer also said that you guys are being super gay. That's another good point. Let me show you one last thing on this, and then I'm going to close it. So let me show you guys this one last thing here. And this is going to be a message from a thread in a private Facebook group that Cameron didn't think I had access to, that I didn't see. But this is many, many months ago, maybe almost a year ago, that they've been talking about me. So these guys know who I am. They've been talking about me, even with other Christian scholars. He's been talking about me. Let me show you guys. Watch this. I'm going to show you an exclusive message right here. Exclusive. Okay, look at this. Who is it from? Our good old friend, Andrew Loke. And I squashed the beef with him, so I'm not even going to get into anything with him. But let's just read what it says. Andrew Loke. They made a 10-hour review of my book. I gave up listening after a while because they misrepresent me again and again. He's not talking about me at this point. I don't think anyway. By ignoring the context of my statements, and also made many personal attacks. And Digital Gnosis, who's a atheist YouTuber or whatever, I don't know, he's agnostic, I don't know what he considers himself, has been joining forces with the Muslim Metaphysician and Apologia in making personal attacks against me as well. First of all, I never spoke with Digital Gnosis to try to make personal attacks with you. And the same thing with Apologia. Only time I messaged Apologia would have say, look, I'm having an issue with Andrew Loke, and I wanted to use some clips of your video to show that there's a pattern with this guy. But I never cooked up anything with him, nothing. And he can confirm that. But they think they're trying to make this like conspiratorial because I'm in their head. Watch this. Cameron Bertuzzi replies, Nathan Ormond, who is Digital Gnosis. His background is pretty fishy. He reached out to me a while back on Messenger while he was going through his deconversion from Christianity. There was something off back then, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I looked back through our messages recently with the theory placed by someone else that his deconversion was faked. That theory makes a lot more sense of those messages. In any case, I wouldn't take him seriously. So this is what he's saying about this Digital Gnosis guy. Now watch this from Andrew Loke. Interesting theory, something to consider. However, I think the fact that he has joined forces with others, even Muslims, with an exclamation point, which sums up this entire discussion. Watch this. Should be taken seriously because taken together, they have a significant number of followers. So this shows you they're worried about the Muslim Metaphysician. They're worried about me, and they think I'm teaming up with Nathan Ormond and this other guy, Paula G. I didn't team up with them with nothing. Nothing. Many of them like to post many YouTube comments making accusations against Christian apologists. And I know of Christians who have been swayed by these comments because they didn't know that the accusations are false. Which is a lie. I don't go around making comments about Christian apologists. If I do, like Andrew Loke, I made the videos right on my channel. But I already squashed it with him, so I don't need to really pick on him. But the fact of the matter is, look, Loke, you said this. And let's pay close attention to something. This is an interaction on a private group, so they don't think anybody's going to see this. But guess what? I saw it, Cameron. I saw it. Why? Because I've got eyes everywhere, my friend. I got eyes everywhere. And guess what? By the way, Even as a Christian, you know that God is always watching. So don't be a hypocrite in the shadows. Don't try to move like an Islamophobe in the shadows. Come out with it if that's who you really are. Do what you got to do and say what you got to say. Because listen, look how Andrew Loke phrases this conspiracy theory of me hooking up with these atheists, which never happened. It's just totally in his own mind. However, I think the fact that he has joined forces with others, even with Muslims. Well, hold on a second. God forbid that he teamed up with Muslims. They're the worst of the worst. How could he possibly team up with even with Muslims? Question mark. Exclamation point. Trying to say, oh, it's significant that he's teaming up with Muslims rather than something else. Oh, if it was a Hindu, it's a Hindu, it's not bad. It's a Jew, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's another anti-Christian group, oh, it's not bad. I mean, we see the clear bias in these people. So this is some advice, okay? This is to the Muslims now. And I'm sorry to say this. I'm not saying to, we have to judge by apparent, but be a bit skeptical. Because some of these guys try to act nice, but they're really phonies. Under the skin, you peel it off, you peel it back, you see, boom, what's waiting there? It's an Islamophobe just waiting there for you. They're not genuine. A lot of them are not genuine. They're not serious. They don't want to put the Islamic message forward. They don't want to give Muslims a fair shake at it. He doesn't want Muslims on his channel, and he definitely doesn't want me on there, and he would never debate me. He would never debate me because he knows it wouldn't go too well for him. Wouldn't go too well for him. Even if he had all his help and his little ghostwriters, it still wouldn't work. Still wouldn't fly. So you can be confident mocking Ali Dawah, but when I step up to the plate, what'd you do? You ran away like a coward. And I showed the hypocrisy based on several factors. David Wood, Jay Dyer, Frank Turek, T-Jump. And look, after Jay Dyer was calling you an idiot and low IQ to your face, you were still willing to have him on his channel, sucking up to him. But yet I didn't do anything wrong to you. You saw one little clip of 2 minutes of me saying the guy was dishonest, and you fled. Why? Because as Jay Dyer said, even though I disagree with him on a lot, you used it as an excuse to not bring me on. Pathetic and disgraceful. And you would support a guy who mocks Muslims, a guy who actually was on your program, Apostate Prophet, who mocked dead Muslims, and Mr. David Wood, who ate the Qur'an, and you were supporting his mocking and eating the Qur'an. But yet, oh, I can't mock somebody, but you were trying to defend mocking? Come on, bro. Straighten up, soldier. You're a grown man. Stop acting like an immature baby. You're an immature baby snowflake. That's what you are, man. And everybody now can see right through it. So my last and final message is, let's get this video out far and wide. Far and wide. Spread it all over, folks. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. And if you want to actually support me so that these clowns can't run away from me anymore, then support me by becoming a patron at the link below. And it's usually in the description of all the videos, although it hasn't been in this one, because I just popped on this, did a quick video right after I got home from work. I didn't even get a chance to set it up. Also, you can click the join button to become a member, which some people did throughout this video, and super chats while we're live. I appreciate you guys for all your love and support. I hope that many Christians will watch this video and respect what I've had to say. And even though if you disagree with Muslims and Islam, you will respect the fact that this man ran from a debate with me, admitted that he couldn't defend his position, and didn't want me to have me on my show, have me on his show, out of inconsistency and hypocrisy. Now, share this video high and wide. I want you guys to go on Facebook, to go on Twitter, to go on your YouTubes, to go on whatever social media platforms you are, and share this video. Tag Cameron Bertuzzi, tag Capturing Christianity. Get the message out there far and wide. This is a one-stop shop. If anybody wants to know who this guy Cameron Bertuzzi is, send him this video. He's a hypocrite and a coward. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I appreciate all of you for watching. I've got some things coming up in the pipeline, but I'm going to have to do, honestly, I wanted to do another video today, but unfortunately, this guy came out with this stuff, so I had to make this quick video. But anyway, I've got some news coming up on the pipeline of people who are actually going to debate me, of places I'll be going. I'll be going to Canada in a couple weeks to do a little dawah tour across Canada, which should be very interesting, inshallah. And a couple other important announcements to make. And I really need to get to reviewing some of my discussions that I had in Speaker's Corner, and a couple other videos. I need to get on that. So I haven't done it in a while. I've been very, very busy. Alhamdulillah, I've been busy. But until next time, guys, inshallah, thank you all for watching. May Allah protect you all and keep you safe and bless you and your families, inshallah. And I've got one last message for Cameron Bertuzzi and anybody else watching this. بل نقذف بالحق على الباطل فيدمغه فإذا هو زاهق ولكم الويل مما تصفون. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.